Boys, tap in. Brand new line just dropped. Phantom Gate line. Still lasts for a very long time. The link is in the description. I would love to see you guys in this. All right, hello guys. Welcome back to the Pokemon Unite video here. Today we're going to talk about the best characters to play and rank up with the fastest. At least I personally believe these characters are very strong right now. If you go on the ladder, you can play these characters really well. You will get a lot of good results. And I want to kind of educate you guys, maybe tell you guys my thoughts on it, on who I think are the best characters to rank up within the entire game so far, at least right now. So guys, if you're really excited for this video, make sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to not miss any Pokemon Unite content. I did a tier list literally yesterday. If you want to see more about that, the link is in the description, guys. Let me know your thoughts. If you agree, disagree, who do you main, whatever. Let's just jump right in with it. All right, so the first character I believe is probably the #1 character to rank up with in the entire game. And I'm so sorry if I make everybody a Gengar main after today, but this is like the best character to rank up with in the entire game. He quite literally is the strongest character in the game, IMO, and he's the best character to rank up in here as well, right? So Gengar is a move you did not notice. It's called Hex, right? And if you can see the move right now, it's a dash as well too. It's 7.5 seconds. After you use Sludge Bomb and you put the poison effect on it, right? Hex resets its cooldown every single time after usage. So instead of being 7.5 seconds on cooldown, it will drop to 1. I'm not even kidding. It will literally drop to 1. So it's wraps, dude. It's wraps. It'll literally go back to 1 second cooldown. You can non-stop constantly use it. He has insane burst damage. Plus, he can play kind of selfish at Gengar, right? He's mainly like a jungler. You can lane with him as well, too. But his strongest suit IMO is being in the jungle, juicing up levels, and getting Sludge Hex Bomb on your Haunter, like right away. That's the move. So if you get that, you're in a really good position to help out your teammate. You can gank anybody, which pretty much you're assisting your teammates who are already in a lane from jungle, and you're bodying them with them to where you 3v2, or if they stack 3v3, you know what I mean? So it's a really strong combination. It's a really strong character. You can kind of get away with being selfish on this character. Obviously know when to engage and disengage, but his character has such high burst damage, such good mobility, a fantastic ultimate as well too. Every single upgrade as well too increases the damage double this move, or sorry, the max upgrade. And as you just keep going, it just does that as you keep going, right? His Unite move is incredible as well too, because it decreases their movement speed, so it's a lot easier for you to not miss that Hex, because people have missed the Hex, right? It also increases your movement speed as well too, so it's also AoE damage. You can see on screen right now. So it's just, you have no reason not to play Gengar if you want to rank up on ladder. Just me personally, IMO, I mean, I'm a Gengar main, so I'm a little biased, I'll be honest with that, guys, but he's a very strong character on ladder right now. I just think he's the strongest character in the game right now. And if you want to get some rank really fast, I think Gengar is a great character to climb up with. Not to mention he has Levitate, which is different in this game than it is in Pokemon. This game, it just increases your movement speed when you're not in combat. So it's so good for you to catch people when he already has an ult that also increases his movement speed, decreases their movement speed. He has Hex, which pretty much is like, I know it doesn't increase your movement speed, but it feels like it because of the dash, right? So you're pretty much moving faster, and Sludge Bomb has really strong range. So all in all, Gengar, fantastic character. I do recommend playing him. All right, guys, the next one I want to talk about today is Lucario. Lucario is a really strong character as well, too. I feel like he's slowly been getting played more as people play the game more, because they're getting coins to unlock the guy. I think he has like 8,000 experience or coins. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a lot, by the way. So that's probably, we have not seen a lot of Lucario, but now he's on a time limit now. So there's a free time limit. You can actually use him right now. So if you watch this video, give Lucario a shot today. But Lucario is a very strong character. He feels like a speedster. I'm not even kidding. He has such good mobility, and he's so fast that it's just like, dude, like, you look at his ability stat, it's like barely off from actual speedsters like Absol and Gengar. So it's like, it's just disgusting, right? It's actually disgusting. Do not also let that offense stat deceive you. A lot of these stats in this game will deceive you, so don't let that one deceive you. But to look at Lucario and why he's so strong, Power Punch is a ridiculous move. It increases your attack. It deals an enormous amount of damage. You are immune, right, to hindrances while charging power. It has knockback, and it's also a dash. It's all 4 of those things that I just talked about. Also, if you can see right now on screen, it deals more damage the lower the opposing Pokemon's remaining HP is, and it makes its own next physical attack a boosted attack if the move hits. And if you did not also know as well, if you use any other move, I'm going to go over that soon, probably Bone Rush, IMO is a better one, the cooldown gets reset. It's like 2 seconds or something like that. So it's like 2 or 1 second, something like that. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. but it just gets reset to where it's lowered, so you can instantly use it again. It's really good to Bone Rush TP inside of them, to then not even charge a Power Punch, just throw it, and you deal enormous amount of damage, dude. So Power Punch has 4 capabilities, 4 aspects, and 4 attributes that make this move so powerful, right? I don't recommend E-Speed. I mean, you can use it if you want. It's not terrible. It's on a longer cooldown and not as good IMO, because this increases your attack. The only thing is this also increases your attack, but for a short time when the move is used. This just overall increases your attack. So, me personally, Power Punch is a much better move. And then Bone Rush is the move. Close Combat just feels kind of weird. It's on a 1 second less cooldown, but it's a melee without a dash. So, Bone Rush is literally also a melee with a dash, so it's better to take that 1 second cooldown, right? It's also extremely powerful. A lot of people use this move as well too, just kind of to like get out. So you don't even have to use this move to go in. Sometimes you can use Bone Rush in the opposite direction, TP to where your Bone Rush is at, and then get out. Cause it's like a TP spot. He's like Minato from freaking Naruto, dude. He's literally that. I'm not even kidding, dude. But like I said, that's knockback. This move is very powerful. It has knockback as well too. If you see user this move again, reset the cooldown for extreme speed or power up punch, which we just talked about, which is incredible, dude. So that's good. That means you could deal damage again, because when you use Bone Rush and you lower their HP with it, if you notice, Power Punch does more HP or does more damage based on their HP being lower. It says here for extreme speed though, it resets and it restores the user's HP. So extreme speed has regen in this game. Take that with what you will. So the cooldown cannot be continually reset by using this move on the same opponent multiple times in succession, which, I mean, if you could, that would just be AIDS, dude. Have you guys seen Ghost Dashes from Genji? It would literally be that, dude. But Bone Rush, absurd move, dude. Since the final attack sends the bone flying, if the move is used again while the bone is traveling, it rushes to the location of the bone. And it deals damage to the opposing Pokemon. It's actually so strong, dude. Like, me personally, I recommend Bone Rush over Close Combat. You have no reason not to be Close Combat, like, ever. IMO. It has knockback, but the capabilities of Bone Rush are a lot better. I think the only thing that feels weird about Lucario is obviously his Unite move. You have to, like, be, like, a sniper. It's, like, so weird sometimes to land. But you have to be a sniper. Like, you gotta, like, combine it with stuff. So usually Thorlax, Heavy Slam CC, Rock Tomb Wall from Crustle, maybe Avalanche Wall from Ninetales, maybe slowing them down with Ninetales, maybe a Slowbro ult. Usually the best things to combine with this guy, that way that you can probably try and get a better chance of landing your Aura Cannon. But most times on ladder, you might miss this move, and that's okay, because if you're dealing the amount of damage you're doing with Bone Rush and Power Punch, you'll get it back pretty fast, you know what I mean? Plus you're in your Unite stasis is what I call it, where post-Unite move, you're faster and deal more damage. It's just nice, you know what I mean, dude? It says it increases the damage dealt by the user's next Power Punch as well, too. So you can literally throw this thing, miss, and then if you got a Power Punch, oh my god, it's game over. The damage it deals is insane, not to mention its ability Steadfast, which when the Pokemon is at low HP is granted a shield, and its movement speed is increased. So like, dude, what? And then the third auto attack is so good because it knocks him up in the air. So it has a little bit of knockback, a little bit of CC on it, dude. And combine that with everything else I just talked about, yeah, this character's cracked. I could spend literally 10 minutes on this guy, but he's cracked. All right, guys, the next one I want to talk about now is Snorlax. I think Snorlax is just ridiculous. This character is easily top 5, no question at all. Easily the best tank in the game. So for those of you that like playing tank, whether it's Crustle mains or Slowbro mains, I do recommend having either at least a pocket Thorlax or trying out Thorlax. Just anybody. I think this character is incredible for top lane especially, dude. He's so nuts in there, dude. It's actually ridiculous. He feels like an impenetrable force. It's ridiculous. We're going to go into it real quick, guys. His endurance is absolute peak. Absolute peak. I'm almost positive it is the highest endurance out of all of them, if I'm not mistaken, which it actually is. I know I said don't let the substats deceive you, but this one is accurate, and I'm gonna tell you why, guys. Snorlax has a lot of CC. He's easily one of the best crowd controllers in the entire game. He has a lot of CC. Heavy Slam, he just jumps in there, slams you down, but he knocks you up in the air, and it feels like you are just invulnerable. Like you can't move for 9 years. I'm not even kidding. You can get Heavy Slam and just go downstairs, boot up some popcorn, come back, and you're good. So it's extremely frustrating for that to happen. He deals damage on his move, obviously, of course, and he throws them up in the air, so it's really good for combos as well, too. Try to combo it with your other teammates, guys. I know a lot of people just use Thorlax to play very selfishly. Thorlax can also be comboed really well with the other teammates, maybe like a Cinderace, maybe like a Lucario Ultimate, you know what I mean? Other stuff like that to make the character feel even stronger, that way that you can actually not allow people to run away post Heavy Slam, because Thorlax is very slow. So the more times you heavy slam people in, right, the better, because then people can revenge kill those if you can't clean them up because he's kind of slow, because he's already used the dash heavy slam to get people. But it's funny enough, heavy slam has decent enough range so he actually can like scoop up people. It's a dash, so you can actually get some people depending on how good you are and how good you can use it. So it's actually a very powerful move, easily one of the strongest in the entire game. Not to mention his other move, block. I know I'm not really going over flail. I don't really necessarily recommend flail. Hardly anybody uses flail, so I do recommend heavy slam with the dash into the CC. The properties of flail, though, it increases the damage of this move. You know, if the user has low HP on using this move, it's basic attacks that hit opposing Pokemon will also use HP. So it's like, it's more of a regen move, but you want the CC. Trust me, you do. Not to mention block. This is a tough one because Yawn is also really good as well, too. It's a hindrance for both of them. So Yawn pretty much makes it to where they're unable to move. They're literally just, you cannot play the game for like 3 years. So this one is more of a preference thing, depending on how you feel, what you want to do, maybe team comps, you know what I mean? Both are very strong moves. So this one, IMO, comes down to you on what you feel most comfortable playing with, whether it is you want to yawn them, run away, or yawn them, gangbang them, or if you want to block them and prevent them from scoring some goals or push them into your teammates, because block has knockback if you're on the front side of it. He's very vulnerable on behind him, though. It's actually counterable. So you can like eject button around him, maybe with a Gengar Hex or like a Zero Aura Volt Switch, and just kind of get behind him and then deal some damage. That's really the only flaw behind block. Otherwise, on the front side, he's pretty much unstoppable. He's knocking you back and it gives him a shield. So it's, you know, obviously also as well to reduce the damage that he takes. So it has damage reduction, it has knockback. Two of the best things you can see in the game. So this character is ridiculous, right? And it's so good for like just combos as well too, because you can knock them into your enemy team, maybe with an Alola Tails or a Pikachu, slow them down, and then everybody could just take turns just killing them. So it's a very strong move as well too. Yawn is also strong because it decreases their movement speed for a short time, and it also makes them sleepy, like they go to bed, so they're just unable to move. Pretty self-explanatory, guys. His Unite move is pretty strong because it literally gives him regen. He's immune to so many hindrances, if not all, and his HP is constantly being restored. It's literally rest from Pokemon, but it works a lot better. So imagine rest, but like you're also immune to hindrances, which is pretty nuts, dude. It also deals damage because he rolls around and like attacks him. So it's really good for like preventing people from like dunking, especially when they're on Zapdos. But 9 times out of 10 on Zapdos, they can insta dunk. So it's another conversation another day. But very strong Unite move, and not to mention he has Gluttony as well too, which increases the effects gained from eating berries. So if you eat a berry, like the citrus berries up top, or for whatever reason you want to, I've seen it happen before, where the Thorlaxes will run through jungle, take the Salic berry, and then just like, they'll just zoot. You know what I mean? They just take the berry, they just zoot. You know what I mean? Because it gets increased effects. So it's ridiculous, but you mainly want to eat it for the citrus berries. That way Thorlax feels like he literally never dies, which is pretty AIDS, dude. And his autos, you can see, when this boosted attack hits, it deals damage to nearby opposing Pokemon and decreases their movement for a short time. You guys should look at the basic attacks for almost every mon, because it does different qualities and properties for every single mon for the basic attacks. So Lucario gets a boosted power and knockback. Thorlax decreases their movement speed. So that is just very powerful. So for a mon that is very slow, he has a dash. He has a, He has regen. And he also can decrease the movement speed. So Thorlax, very powerful mon. I definitely recommend using Thorlax on ladder to rank up. All right, guys, this one's gonna be pretty short because I don't want to make the video like an hour long. I go into details too long. Zero Aura, I think everyone knows his character. Everyone uses his character. He's pretty self-explanatory. Very strong jungler. He's one of the strongest characters in the entire game. He's one of the strongest junglers in the entire game. Discharge is absurd. The thing about Zero Aura, though, is almost every move he has is actually very good, because mainly you guys have been hearing me talk about like optimal movesets. But with Zero Aura, you can literally do whatever. You can go Volt Switch for movement. It also TPs like Lucario Bone Rush. Or you can go for Spark, which also has movement. It's a dash. And it also restores a little bit of your HP if you perform a basic attack before reaching its target opponent. It does movement as well, too, as it also increases damage and basic attack speed. So it's very powerful. But, or if you want regen, it's really just what you want. Both are very strong moves. I prefer Volt Switch, but both are strong. You have Discharge and Wild Charge. Me, personally, I used to say both. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Discharge is just so much better, dude. It decreases their movement speed. It's an AoE, and it pulls them towards you. It pulls them towards you guys, inside to you to Zero Aura once the move ends, and dealing damage to them once again, and leaving them unable to act. This move is so much better than Wild Charge. Wild Charge is a very strong move as well too, It's very strong. It does a lot of damage. You can actually hit 3 people at once, but so can Discharge and do a lot more. Wild Charge is also not bad, though. I cannot preface that enough, but Discharge is actually cracked. It is literally cracked. Not to mention his ultimate, which just feels cheating. Unleashes the blast of lightning, dealing damage to the Pokemon in the area of effect. It creates a zone. This is the big thing, guys. It creates a plasma zone that increases his basic attack range and damage dealt when he's inside the zone. And if I'm not mistaken, the zone is like around his basic auto attack range. So, but he's so fast post Unite Stasis that it is just so ridiculous. It's easily one of the strongest ults in the entire game. Not to mention Volt Absorb, which is a little different in this game. When he gains an electric charge, when he receives damage, he converts that portion of damage to additional attack. So it's Volt Absorb, which in actual Pokemon restores your HP if you get hit by electrical moves, which would be just a direct counter to Pikachu and other Zero Auras. But at the same time in this game, it increases your damage. So it's like Flash Fire in this game. His basics can also restore his HP. So why his basics restores HP, I don't know. But little self-explanatory, guys. Zero Aura, very simple character. Everyone has him for free, so I see no reason why you wouldn't try him out in ladder. All right, guys. Next up, Cinderace. This character is also pretty self-explanatory. Very strong character. His passive pretty much does more damage when they're burnt. So it just. But it also as well too when the Pokemon with his ability is at half HP or less, its crit rate and basic attack speeds are increased for a short time. Not to mention as well, you guys can see that every time it does an auto attack, it puts a cinder effect on them. It's like that small little fire you see. And every time you're dealing damage to somebody that does have that effect, you're actually dealing more damage to somebody that has that effect than you are that doesn't. So you should always use your basic attacks on Cinderace because you get that effect, then you're dealing more damage. Going into this one, Blaze Kick and Pyro Ball are both very good, but the thing about Blaze Kick is it's a guaranteed hit. It is a guaranteed hit. You cannot miss this move no matter what you do. This move is always a critical hit as well too, which is insane, and it shoves the opposing Pokemon and leaves them burned for a short time. So it gives them the Cinder passive effect, which boosts your move's damage on them now, right? It has knockback, it's always a crit, and it never misses. This move is actually correct. And did I mention it's also immune to hindrances? So this one was jacked. Pyro Ball is also really strong as well too, because it has really good range, right? And it also says it reduces the cooldown of Flame Charge or Fate when this move is used. So that's also really good as well too. And it also puts a Cinder effect on them, which increases your overall damage for any moves that you want, basics, moves, whatever. So very strong overall. Honestly, guys, this one comes down to you and what you want to pick, because both moves are very strong. So do with that what you will. You have Flame Charge and Fate now, which you just saw from Pyro Ball. If you pick Pyro Ball, it reduces the cooldown. Very similar to Lucario, so that's not bad as well too. Right, so Feint, we're gonna go over that first. Both are really good. Again, Feint does give you a buff because it increases your movement speed for a short time and makes you invincible, which is actually wild if you sit down and think about that on paper. But it also says as well too that after this move is used, basic attacks that hit opposing Pokemon restores HP up to 3 times. So it stacks 3 times. So all 3 of your basic attacks pretty much can give you regen post Feint. And then for Flame Charge, obviously, of course, you're cloaked in a flame, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon. The next boosted attack, after this move ends, it decreases the movement speed of opposing Pokemon for a short time. It's very interesting because in the actual game, this move increases your movement speed. But in this game, it is the opposite, where it decreases their movement speed, which technically, if you think about it, is also increasing your movement speed if you're decreasing their movement speed. 4D chess. But, I mean, honestly, both moves are great. Like I said, again, Cinderace doesn't really have any bad moves. He's very similar to Zero Aura, especially, I'd say, even better than Zero Aura when it comes to his moves because he has no bad moves. Zero Aura, you always on discharge. Cinderace, you can really just pick whatever you want. Not to mention his ultimate is the same because it increases his movement speed for a short time. So it's absolutely jacked and it just deals a sure amount of damage. Also, it's a guaranteed hit. It's one of the few Unite moves that is a guaranteed hit in the entire game. And obviously Blaze, we kind of went over this, which is just, it's cracked. It's cracked. The character is a very jacked, cracked Pokemon. I reckon everybody should get him and try him. He has one of the largest ranges in the entire game. Not to mention, he has one of the coolest skins in the entire game. This is so raw, dude. All right, you guys may not be thinking about this character a lot, and that's okay because you look at Pikachu and you're kind of tired because he's the mascot. You already know he's either going to be really good or very average. Pikachu's never bad, right? But in this game, he's jacked. He has one of the largest attack stats in the entire game. Pikachu also has one of the largest attack stats in the entire game. He has some of the craziest moves in the entire game. Electro Ball is actually cheating. Its range feels endless. It's a guaranteed hit. So when I tell you it's literally endless, yeah, pretty much this move is jacked, man. I mean, it's a guaranteed hit. It deals insane damage. It does more damage based on how lower the Pokemon's HP is, which is weird because you would think it would do more damage based on if, like, the slower somebody is, you know what I mean? I thought that's how it worked this entire time. Well, by this entire time, I mean like in the beta, right? But imagine if it worked like that, imagine. That would be jacked out of this planet. I mean, Thunder is not bad either. It has a massive, massive range, which is really good as well too. Increases the number of time this move attacks, which is very strong, very similar to actual Thunder, so it's very powerful. Honestly, I recommend Electro Ball because it's a guaranteed hit, and it's a shorter cooldown and guaranteed hit. I see no reason why you would never run Electro Ball IMO, but to each their own. Volt Tackle and Thunderbolt, again, this one just comes up to you because Volt Tackle does reduce the move's cooldown when you upgrade it, which is very good, right? So it gets reduced, which is very strong because that 10 seconds won't be that bad anymore, right? Not that much as well, too. It's kind of like a charge, like you're literally charging in there. It's got somewhat of a small radius, but it's a charge. Once you get close to it, Pikachu slows them down with his autos. So it just works out, right? So it's a very strong move, and then Thunderbolt is also a very strong move because it just increases damage for upgrades, right? It leaves opponents unable to act, which is kind of cancer. Yeah, well, that's really all I could say. Like, Pikachu just makes it to where you can't move. Not to mention Pikachu's ultimate is also an AoE, which is ridiculous. It just throws a bunch of lightning bolts down. It's just damage. Not to mention his passive is also really good as well, too, because it paralyzes everybody near him for a short time when he takes damage. Everybody. This is what's busted about this passive. It's not just one person. It's everybody. Imagine in VGC if you literally touched Pikachu once and all 2 mons that you stand on the other side of the field are paralyzed immediately. That is insane. All right, guys, almost the stretch goal right here. Last one we're going to talk about is Alola Tails, and this mon is very cancerous as well, too. Very strong mon. I think everybody should have this mon. She is very powerful. Everybody does because they got it for free. It was like day 4, day 2, something like that. But she is very, very powerful. She's also a top 5 like Thorlax, Lucario, and Gengar. Very, very strong, man. She's a ranged attacker, and she's a ranged attacker that has hindrance, slow, permafreeze, damage reduction. Like, all of this across the map is not fun. So that's why you guys should abuse her. Because I might think she could get nerfed. I don't know if she will, dude. Going into it, though, Avalanche and Dazzle Gleam are both very strong moves. Dazzle Gleam is what I prefer to do because of the hindrance. It is an AoE that leaves people unable to act, which is very powerful. Or, I'm sorry, no. It increases the damage overall when you upgrade this move. And it also leaves them unable to act a lot longer, as you can see as well, too, which is just annoying. Why do you not want to play the game? This mon prevents you to not want to play the game. So if you want to be annoying and be an ass, this is your guy. This is your guy. Avalanche is also really good, too, because it decreases the movement speed of opposing Pokemon, which is not bad either. It also deals a massive amount of damage. And there's a wall, so that's really strong as well, too. Walls are really good in this game, like Rock Tomb as well, too. So block, very barriers. Don't even get me started on barrier. Very strong moves. So honestly, it just comes with what you prefer. Me personally, I think Dazzling Gleam is better IMO, and it just sounds better and is better, but to each their own, right? Not to mention as well too, Blizzard Nora Veil. This one is also tough. If you run Avalanche, I do recommend Blizzard, and if you run Dazzling Gleam, I do recommend Aurora Veil. I think that's how the mon should be worked. That's just me. One or the other. I think Alola Tails goes so well with combo moves that if you get Avalanche, you should run Blizzard, because if you do put that wall up, Blizzard splits up, and it will, like, you know, just kind of like spread its damage out, you know what I mean? So it also decreases their movement speed for a short time. The second blast deals damage to the Pokemon in the area of effect and shoves them. So that's knockback and AoE, and this is the second blast hits an obstacle. It also deals damage to the opposing Pokemon near the point of impact. So it splits on the second blast. So it's like, if there's an obstacle, like a wall or whatever. So it's very, very strong. It's a very strong move. The 11-second cooldown is definitely there. I think the long cooldowns on this mon definitely show, because, like, you see, she has some significant cooldowns in comparison to, like, Pikachu. We just saw, like, 5-second cooldown. So it's almost triple that of Pikachu, dude. But honestly deserved, because this mon is very powerful, dude. Aurora Veil, it has damage reduction. And when you're sitting in the Aurora Veil, it actually increases your power as well, too. It also increases your movement speed. So that's fun. So if you want to slow them down while also boosting your power, having damage reduction, and having more boosted power. Dude, I think I already said that, but dude, it's ridiculous, man. It really just is. Not to mention as well, too, her Unite move is insane because it deals damage, increased damage to someone that's frozen. And I mean, this move is going to be literally, like, come on, man. If you run Blizzard with this, it's wraps, bro. Actually wraps. That's what I was supposed to do with Snow Warning at the end of the move, boosted attacks and moves, except for Aurora Veil, thank God. They sling snow, and at the same target with snow multiple times will freeze it for a short time. So you don't even need to run Blizzard, like I was saying, for the passive to enact for the Unite move. Her passive alone will enact the Ignite move. It's kind of cracked. It's kind of cracked. Her autos decrease her movement speed for a short time, so that's also fun. But yeah, overall, this mon is very powerful. I do recommend everyone should at least have her. We should. We got it for free, and if you didn't and you're new, you will get it for free after like 4 days of logging in. But she's a very strong mon. I recommend using her. All right, guys, last mon on the table. Sorry if the video's a little long. I ramble a lot and I go into details a lot, but this is a personal pick of mine. I think this character is very underused, and I think he's underused because he's day 14 login for free. He's like 10K currency. He's a very expensive mon, and some people don't even think he's that rewarding because they don't think he's that good. I'll tell you right now, I have the skin, I play the guy, he is that good. It's just everyone's focused on like Zero Aura, and they're now waking up to Gengar, bro. All right. Let me tell you about my boy Greninja. Let me tell you about Greninja, man. Let me tell you about Greninja. Very strong guy. Water. He's so strong. He also feels like a movement character as well, too. He feels like a speedster because his movement is so ridiculous. But he has higher raw attack than speedsters. The only one you can debate that with is like probably Gengar, because Gengar is just, he's a cheater. We're not gonna talk about him again. For now though, Greninja, Water Shuriken or Surf, again, both moves are good. Water Shuriken decreases the movement speed of both Pokemon, and it also restores the HP when it hits. So it has regen, decreases the movement speed, and also increases your movement speed while you use the move. And if you upgrade it, it increases the number of times this move attacks, which is very good because he has really high raw attack. So you're essentially doing more damage every time you upgrade it, which is really strong. And Surf is interesting because the cooldown gets reset every time you kill somebody. It's like a Genji dash from Overwatch, so that's really cool. It also restores HP as well too. So Greninja is like a regener for sure. He has so much regen on his moves, on both of his upgrade moves after Bubble, which is very powerful, right? And when you upgrade it, it increases the amount of HP restored, so he regens more with it. So it really just comes down to your play style, right? Are you like a super aggro Greninja? If so, maybe Surf's the wave. You kill somebody, get a kill, cool reset, and then you keep farming HP with that regen. Or you like to play a little more passively, a little more ranged. You like to get poke damage, get your Water Shurikens off while also regenerating HP, and then boosting the amount of times you can attack with this move. So both these are great. He has Double Team and Smokescreen, which are really good moves in solo queue IMO because they really help out your team, because it makes the other team somewhat lost, because Smokescreen prevents them from their field of vision gets lowered. So it's very good, and it also increases your attack for a short time when the user stops sneaking, which is very powerful. So you can use Smokescreen, chill in the grass for a minute, and get that attack buff, which is very powerful. And it also makes your next basic attack a boosted attack. So it's very powerful, and it also increases your movement speed. So it does so much, man. It does so much. And then Double Team, obviously, it reduces the move's cooldown, which is great. You get to use it a lot more, and it makes it to where people's auto attacks will auto home on the enemy Double Team, Kagabunshin no Jutsu. So they will actually auto on the other Greninjas. So it will literally catch them off guard, as well as like it's really good to like disengage from fights. Both of these moves are really good for disengaging fights. Even Substitute, honestly, is not even that bad. So Greninja is so good at going in and getting out. He has all the tools for it, and that's why I think it is a crime that people don't think he's as good as I'm saying that he is. Like, he's actually so good, dude. His Unite move is actually jacked. If you land this move, by the way, because I've seen some people miss it. People think it's bad because they miss. Maybe you're bad. But if you actually land this move, dude, it is AoE, by the way, and it decreases their movement speed, right? The Water Shuriken immediately explodes, so it's like an AoE massive Water Shuriken explosion. Massive damage with AoE again, and the user may jump in a different direction. So he like jumps backwards, you know what I mean? Like whatever you do. So it's like you can literally throw this and get out. I'm not even kidding. Throw it, get in. It's actually insane. And the amount of burst damage it is actually absurd with the high raw attack that Greninja has. Yeah, Smokescreen. He regens. He has Smokescreen for boosted attack, boosting the Unite move overall, dude. He has Torrent, so when his HP is half or less, his attacks and move speed are increased, which is very good. It works entirely different because kind of in actual Pokemon, because it boosts water moves by 33%, but in this game it's different. And then his basic attacks are really good as well too, because it says his movement speed is increased, or decreases movement speed for enemy Pokemon. He's boosted attack as well too for increased damage. So that's really good for long range as well too, which he actually has massive range. At close range, a boosted attack deals more damage the lower someone's HP is, which is like a small like Greninja like sword swipe. So it's very strong. So overall, I think this character is ridiculous in solo queue. Me personally, one of the best characters in solo queue and extremely underrated. So Greninja fans, I hear you. I'm out here. I also main him. He's my boy. I'm in like 4 characters anyway, so that's my guy. But guys, that's really it for the video. Sorry it was a little long. I ramble a lot. I wanted to make it short. I ended up being here for a long time. What do you guys think? Do you think I missed someone? Let me know. Who do you main? Talk to me, subscribe, leave a like. I made a tier list, guys, yesterday. Check that out if you want to know the best characters in the game. And with that, thank you so much for watching, guys. Scoop the Gengar merch is in the description down below, and I'll chat to y'all.